Gil here with the Sailing Vessel Dream Chaser. And last week we did a little bit of a special on what storm surge is. The Tropical Storm Patricia was down in the Gulf of Mexico, so we had an opportunity to share a little bit about what we were experiencing, some of the flooding that we received here, as well as a little definition around what storm surge is, what causes it, and where the danger zones are around a storm. So if you haven't watched that, by all means, please go back into our channel, take a look. I'll put a little link right up here so you can see it as well. A few weeks ago, before that, before the rain and before the storm, we started to rebed one of the leaking hatches in the last affair. That's our Gulf Star. We had, at the end of the video, we had removed the hatch. We'd removed the decorative fiberglass trim that goes down through the core, and we had cleaned it all up, removed all the sealant, used acetone, cleaned everything up. And in this video, which is a continuation of that, we are now going to rebed that back down into the deck, and we're going to get it all ready to go. So hope this video is helpful. This combined with part one, which I'll put a link to up here as well, will give you the full kind of picture on how to go about doing this. The good news is it's been tremendously successful. It has been raining this week again. In Louisiana in the springtime, man, lots of rain. But it's been raining again and no drips down below, so that's a good thing. Hope y'all enjoy it.
In the previous episode, you went ahead and saw me pointing out that this core was a little bit soft right on this edge. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking here to see where it's soft, and you can see it's fairly soft in this first couple of inches of it. So what I'm going to do here is rather than having to cut up any skin on the top of the deck, it's going to be easy enough to pry it out from the inside here, which is what you'll see me do here, just using a screwdriver and also using a scraper a little bit. I'll just fast forward through this and show you what it looks like after it's done getting cleaned out. So I'm going to continue cleaning this out all the way along this whole edge over here, and you can see I'm doing this until I start feeling some pushback, and then I know I'm back to solid core there.
All right, so at this point I'm now going to, I cut a couple of pieces. I'm just using a small piece of 1/2-inch hardwood, and I'm going to put this inside the spot where I cleaned out the core. I used a heat gun before, and I just dried this out a little bit, which I think will be good. I took some paper to make the mold, and then I'll tap these in with some epoxy, thickened epoxy on it. So what I've got here is a bit of thickened epoxy. And as you can imagine, I definitely put a bunch of plastic down below in case anything drips. I don't end up getting it down on the salon floor or the settee or anything like that. Now I just mixed up some epoxy with some 404 filler here, and all I'm really trying to do is get a little bit of inside here, and then I'm going to butter up my my piece as well. What would have worked really well here is one of those little syringes to kind of inject it in there, but this will be good enough. I'll just be able to sand it loose. I'll be able to sand the edges down if need be. Not very pretty here, but again, this is going to get the trick done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the back side. I'm not going to go in too far with it, because once I get it started, I'll be able to apply a little bit more to it on the part that's still sticking out. All right. I've got this set, and this is the angle at which this goes in here. So, a little hammer, I'm just going to tap this in. Go.
And now it's just a matter of repeating the same process with all of the small pieces that are going to be inserted into the core here. And I did this in 3 pieces to make them a little easier to install.
Now I'm just getting it kind of cleaned up right here along the edge. Here's where having it a little bit thicker would have been a little better. It would have been a little easier to smooth this along here, even though this is a vertical plane here. Putting this piece of wood here just to, again, catch some of that. Well, I got that going on. I'm going to take our thickened mixture. I'm going to pour it in here. As I mentioned before, I want to fill this a little bit. So now I'm basically just going to put some of this filler right down in here, or near it. Jeez Louise. Can't believe I just did that. You should be better with your aim when you use epoxy. we have that in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape it off the sides because I don't want it up here. And the goal really is to just get this stuff smoothed down a little bit down here to make a little bit better of a surface. I'm going to do my best to go fairly smooth here. You can see some of it's dragging over the side. I'll just have to wipe that up here in a minute. Folks, so you can see here I epoxied this yesterday and it's good. It's not quite all the way to the edge, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to seal this in real good. But because I've solidified that, I now have to drill these holes back out again. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill a few of these holes. All right, so this looks good with one exception. I've got a little bit of epoxy that's raised up right here. Got enough sunshine that looks like I'll be able to take a pass at getting this thing sealed finally. And because I filled all these holes with epoxy, I need to just drill them out small. Now it's just a matter of using this Life Seal caulk. Again, if you recall from our video on replacing the glass in an aluminum frame hatch, Life Seal is a combination of silicone and polyurethane. It has great adhesion qualities and really good sealant qualities. My understanding from people commenting on one of my previous videos is that Dow 795 is also the same type of mixture and would work really well for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue to seal around this. You'll notice what I'm doing is I'm running a bead along the outer edge and another one along the inner edge, and I'm leaving it fairly thick. What I want to have happen is I want to have it ooze out once I actually adhere it down to the deck, and I can clean up any excess later, but I want it to fill this joint completely. That was the direction. Good deal. Now that I put the decorative trim in that goes from the top of the deck down through the core, I've screwed it in with 4 screws in the corners, and as you saw, I did that with Life Seal. Now, for the aluminum hatch that's going to sit on top of that frame, I'm going to use butyl tape for that. I think it's a better solution for that. It doesn't have a gap to fill. It's a nice flat surface against a flat surface, and butyl tape does a great job of remaining flexible and still providing a great seal. Now, if you've seen any of the other videos, I know you've watched us use butyl tape before, so I just went ahead and put 2 layers of butyl tape on this side by side, pulled the tape up, and it was now time to lay the aluminum frame hatch down on top of this deck filler and spacer piece. It was a matter of lining up the screws and ultimately tightening everything down. The other thing I went ahead and did here after getting this all tightened in is I put another small seal of Life Seal around the outer edge. The idea really is it will fill any gaps where it may not have filled completely, but it also gives it a nice finished look on the outside of this trim piece as well. So the last step was just to go ahead and install the lid. We have bedded the new frame down. Just a matter of pulling the long rod out that holds the hinged lid on, holding the aluminum lid with the glass in it, putting the rod back in, putting the locking mechanism back together, and closing and latching the lid. With that, it was time to batten them down and we were all set to go. The beauty of this is, I will tell you, I've been working in the boat with a bunch of rain this week and nothing's dripping, nothing's leaking, which is wonderful. So I hope you did find this useful. Remember, this is a 2-part series, so up in this upper corner I'll put a link to part 1 and you can see that one, and then part 2. I hope you find it useful. Please do share it with anybody that might be embarking on a journey similar to this, or going through some kind of a repair like this. I know for me personally, it's always helpful to watch somebody else cut a hole in their boat before I do it in my own. So I hope you guys found this useful. Thanks, y'all. Safe sailing. Hey everybody, thanks for watching, and please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even Tumblr. Please take a moment and go over to our website at svdreamchaser.com download free resources for cruising and how-to projects. Get your thumbs and mouses ready. We also have a couple of links right on the screen for some other playlists and videos that we think you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching, fellow dreamers.